Hey guys, this video is all about things I've discovered since my ADHD diagnosis. Okay, the first thing that I've discovered, and this did come as a surprise to me because I thought it was going to be complete bullshit, but it wasn't. Ritalin is a weight loss pill. Now, I am a terrible snacker. I'm very overweight. I'm officially classed as obese. And there isn't a chocolate sweet ice cream on the planet that I will not happily shove down my fat throat. Now, as we all know, people with ADHD are often terrible sugar fiends, and that's because it's a stimulant, and we are artificially introducing stimulants into our bodies by means of all the sugar in the chocolates we consume. And I used to munch through the entire day. I would have a nice breakfast with a big milky latte with a sugar in it in the morning, and then I'd have a nice big lunch, lots more food, usually completely crap beige food, my wife calls it, the unhealthy stuff, chicken nuggets and chips and all that kind of stuff. And then I might have another coffee, nice milky latte in the afternoon. Then another milky latte just before my evening meal. Then I would have my evening meal, usually more completely shit food. And then once everyone had cleared out and I was playing my computer games or doing whatever, I would sit with some booze. I would get through quite a bit of booze and snack on crisps and more chocolate. So it's not really a huge shock to the system that I'm a fat bastard, but what has been a real surprise to me is that Ritalin has greatly suppressed my need for that sugar and that food and the carbohydrates and all the other shit. So when I take my morning Ritalin, I'm on 4 first thing in the morning, 4 10-milligram pills to kick me off for the day. And then I take another 4 around about lunchtime. And I do not think about food at any point during that entire period when I'm on the Ritalin. So I sit at my desk, which you can see behind me, and I sip water, and that's literally all I want. And it's really, really strange to me to be in this situation because I just don't think about it. It really just doesn't enter my head to go and raid the cupboard or the fridge and get myself something sweet and sugary to eat. It just doesn't happen anymore. And I'd heard stories about people taking Ritalin for reasons of weight loss and thought it was complete bollocks, but what do you know, it's true. And since I started taking it, I've lost nearly about 8 kilograms, which is getting on for a stone in old money. So I'm still a fat bastard, but the weight's starting to come off, and it's coming off, I am told, the right way, which is in small amounts, because that's the kind that you can maintain. So that was the first surprising thing. Ritalin helps with weight loss, but more than that, it just helps you stop thinking about food. I guess that's the actual key to it. All right, something else I've discovered since getting diagnosed is that my most productive time of the day is between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m. Now, obviously, this wasn't a complete bolt from the blue, because I know what I do and I've done all my life. But what I've discovered since being diagnosed is that actually people with ADHD often have weird circadian rhythms. We have a skewed cycle of being awake and going to sleep. And so actually in the mornings, I'm not a terribly productive person, certainly not very creative at that time of the day. I'm going to go through the motions now I've got my Ritalin, but I find all the good stuff, the meaty stuff, the enjoyable stuff, the stuff that I'm most proud of, that happens pretty much after 9 p.m. and I sit with a bit of alcohol at my desk and I produce stuff, and it's nearly always the best stuff. And I always thought that was a bit weird, but since my ADHD diagnosis, I have come to terms with my weird circadian rhythm and accepted that between 9 p.m. and 1 a.m, that's when I'm going to do the good stuff, and I just enjoy it and go with the flow. Okay, the third thing I've discovered since my ADHD diagnosis is that nobody gives a shit. Now, it might be the most earth-shattering thing you've ever heard when you get your ADHD diagnosis. It certainly was for me. And we kind of have this perception that it's going to be equally important to everyone else. But actually, most people couldn't give a fuck. Now, we love finding out that we have this because it gives us an explanation for the way we've been all our lives, why we've been such unremittingly lousy human beings, being careless and forgetful and never getting shit done and pissing off everyone in our lives. And when we get the diagnosis, we think everyone's going to say, oh, wow, that explains everything. Yeah, no worries, mate, crack on. But actually, the truth is, they just want the thing. So I'm not saying I expected a ticker tape parade or to be laid down on a couch, have my head stroked, poor me, poor you, people playing the violin for me. I'm not saying that, but what I'm saying is that it's much more important to us than it is to them. All right, here's another thing I've discovered. Knowing the reason why you constantly get distracted doesn't stop you getting constantly distracted. Now, chemical stimulants aside, you will still be distracted by stuff. You take in more stuff with ADHD than people with normally regulated brains do. And of course, after your diagnosis, fuck all is going to change on that front. In fact, the main difference I've discovered since my diagnosis is I'm just angrier about it. I'm angry with myself when I get distracted because now I know why. And I have these stupid fucking conversations with myself where I say, for fuck's sake, Andrew, stop being so bloody distracted. It's the sodding dopamine in your brain and you're not being correctly stimulated in your bloody frontal brain region. Your executive functions are all shot to fuck. And I get angry with myself and that doesn't really help. So I know why I'm getting constantly distracted, but I can't really do much about it. It still happens, and I just get angry about it. All right, next thing I discovered. I heard a lot about this hyperfocus deal before I got my official diagnosis, and I thought, hey, that sounds pretty cool. And I know that I am lucky enough to enjoy the benefits of this so-called hyperfocus in my life. But here's what they don't tell you in all those articles about hyperfocus and getting stuck in and applying yourself to this stuff. It's not a precision weapon. It's like carpet bombing. You don't get to decide where it lands. You don't get to point your hyperfocus at something. Your brain arbitrarily decides what it's going to hyperfocus on, but you can't point it in any particular direction. You don't get to control it in that way. So it's like some shitty fucking superpower. You can't direct it. It's an unguided missile, and who knows where it could land. I mean, my wife would absolutely fucking love it if my hyperfocus suddenly attached itself to the family accounts or our web design business. But it doesn't. Usually, my hyperfocus attaches to something like learning Klingon on Duolingo. All right, that's it, guys. Nice, short and sweet. Wanted to make a video because it's been a little while since I've done any on this channel, and that was partly because I was really unhappy with the setup I had here, but I've spent a bit of money on some cheap-ass lights from Amazon. I've watched a few videos on YouTube about how to light stuff, and hopefully this is a slightly better setup. I feel a lot more comfortable, it has to be said, sitting behind a desk and talking to the camera this way. And I found the videos a lot easier to do with this setup. So I know I say this in every fucking video I do for this channel, that hopefully I'm going to do more, but this is a lot better setup, and hopefully I'll be able to apply myself and knock some more videos out. I've already done 3 tonight, but hey, isn't that like a hyper-focus ADHD thing? Who fucking knows? Hope you enjoyed it, guys. See you on the next one. ADHD as fuck. Over and out. Bye.